Good morning and welcome to the vlog. We're now entering Unit 6, Module 1 of the book 21st Century Literature from the Philippines and the World, the Body. This is a bit of a touchy topic which may trigger some insecurities, so please be mindful of that. Our bodies can influence the way people think about us. One look is enough for them to assume numerous things. They say that the first impressions are the most important because they're the ones that last the longest time. Just from a glance, people can pick up the kinds of hobbies you enjoy, the kind of work that you do, based on your appearance, demeanor, and sometimes the clothes you're wearing. This is a shallow way of thinking, although I can't really say that because I'm no exception to it. Growing up means gaining experiences, and these experiences are what helps us to make our own judgment. That's why there are so many people that are judgmental. Like, for example, some women despise men based on the kind of experiences that they've had with them. This lesson is made for us to have a perspective on society regarding physical characteristics and how we judge one another. Let's begin with some questions to reflect on. How do you feel about your body? Are you proud of it? Why or why not? Well, for me, I'm quite content with my body. These days, I'm feeling very lucky to be born with it. And it's the same feeling as finding this one song in your playlist that you always ignored, but turns out it actually sounds really good. I certainly do have some insecurities about it, but other than that, I feel comfortable in my own skin. But am I proud of it? That's not enough for me to show it to the world. I'd definitely be trying to improve it for my own sake, but it's not for anyone else to see. The only person I'm trying to impress is the one in the mirror, or myself. That's enough for me to build up some confidence and self-esteem. Self-love is important. Seeking approval from others is a waste of time. You don't need to satisfy everyone, nor do you, nor can you satisfy everyone. So, being satisfied with yourself, that's all you actually need. As for the reason why, it's because I'm normal. I have a normal body. Um, I'm glad I didn't grow up or was born with any abnormalities and or disabilities, which some people could actually be jealous of. Uh, as well as how easy it is for me to maintain my own weight. There was a time when I disliked my own body, and what really changed that idea was meeting someone who hated their body more than I did, even though they looked much better than me. Right now, I'm just happy to be able to see, hear, and walk like a normal person, and you should too. Next question. What kind of body is idealized in today's society? Do you agree with this ideal? Why or why not? In the beauty industry, it was common for people to believe that women with fair, white skin with a petite body was the bare minimum for beauty, which is something I don't particularly agree with, mainly for the fact that there are many people that don't fit into that category and they get shunned out completely. However, people are becoming more open-minded, which is good. Plus-sized models and models with darker skin tones are being accepted into a different beauty standard. But as for the guys, there's something about needing to be 6 foot tall that doesn't sit right with me. Like even guys who are 5'11" don't get to meet that standard, and that's just because of 1 inch. Um, but it's okay not to be 6 foot. At least you're not hurting anyone's neck. It's just genetics. You just have to accept it because it's something you can't change. Ricky Gervais, if you know him, makes a hot take on why fat shaming is justified. It's because it's something you could change. You can either get fat because you don't have enough self-control, or you can stay fat because you choose to stay that way, unless you have a disability that restricts you from doing so. Either way, shaming still is pretty bad, um, no matter how good of a point Gervais makes. Some people just like to live that way. Again, I do not agree with these ideals, nor do I agree with having ideals in the first place. Pushing expectations onto other people will just not make things better. There will always be people who won't be able to meet those expectations. Last question. Who do you think has an easier time dealing with the standards of beauty and body image in society? Males or females? Well, as a male myself, I'm pretty sure the males have it easier. Cosmetics are expensive. It just seems so much simpler living in society as a male. Like, men don't have to be light skinned. They don't need to wear makeup. They don't have to go to the gym to be slim fit. They, some of the guys I know have a specific charm to them, um, and that's by being themselves. They're very comfortable with being themselves, and that's the sort of thing that you can't really replace um, with a six pack or being tall. While women are met with unrealistic beauty standards from a very young age, women that are conscious about how they look are being expected to wear makeup or go to the gym to look slim because of society. They also change their lifestyle um, based on these expectations, including taking extreme diets, which could lead to eating disorders such as anorexia and bulimia. I remember a time there was this beauty pageant, and I knew a participant there. Despite how well she performed in that beauty pageant, she landed second place because she wasn't tall enough. I was very upset with this. I was only a kid, and the thought of losing because of something you can't change or you have no control over was unreal to me. It's one of the realities you have to accept. In my opinion, beauty standards get in the way of self-love because it messes with your self-esteem and could cause an obsession with your body whenever we compare ourselves to other people in social media. Beauty is subjective. Everyone has their own opinions on it, so don't be discouraged. There are still lots of people with different tastes.
Many people believe that the fashion industry and women's magazines construct a negative body image for women. The standard of beauty around the world usually tend to lead towards fair skin, western features, and thin bodies. This has resulted to women opting for skin whitening creams and plastic surgeries. In worst cases, suffering from eating disorders such as anorexia, which is an eating disorder usually described as having abnormally low body weight, and bulimia, which is another eating disorder characterized with overeating followed by extreme fasting or vomiting. These can pose a huge problem because believing that these products and surgeries could help you could have a huge impact on your health both physically and mentally. Physically, because it can cause harmful effects such as toxins or self-mutilating, and mentally because being obsessed with how you look can trying to fix it can lower your self-esteem. Although there are products that try to promote a positive body image, celebrating differences in body types, skin colors, and features, these are very few compared to those that feature in the opposite in commercials, magazines, fashion shows, and the media. In this modern age, this has become the case for men as well. Most of these problems are addressed in the play The Good Body by Eve Ensler. The play delves deep into how women think and feel about their own bodies. The narrator goes on a journey from being obsessed with her own body to complete self-acceptance. It features issues such as body weight, eating disorders, and body shaming. 1. How can you relate to the narrator and explain? As a woman, I can relate to the narrator in a lot of ways. The narrator talks about how a lot of women may feel particularly ashamed of their bodies, and try their best to correct that part of their body when, in reality, a lot of other women wish to be in their shoes instead. We have a hard time accepting our bodies because society has influenced us on how we see ourselves and tend to bring out our insecurities. I've always felt that I have been held back by my body, and it would usually hinder my activities and health every day. No matter what body we have, we all have our own problems. 2. How does the narrator feel about their body? The narrator feels that the part that she doesn't like about her body the most is her stomach. She states that for 30 years that it has been her tormentor and most serious committed relationship. It has affected her body image and confidence, which led to her trying to erase that part of herself. She thinks that if she were to have the ideal body, she would have to just be like the typical American dream, an American woman with pointy breast and a resin-a-day stomach. Why does the narrator feel that way about her body? She feels insecure about her body, and the number one factor on why she wants to change that part. It had affected her for 30 years, and her confidence and her ability to work. It just shows that she's concerned with the way she looks and tries to erase those parts of herself just to fit the standard of beauty in her mind. What is Cosmo and why does she feel haunted by it? Cosmo is short for Cosmopolitan, a popular fashion magazine aimed towards women. She is haunted by it because she came across the woman in the cover who she considered the American dream and felt jealous about her body, which caused her to buy the magazine to know her secret. The magazine was surely effective on drawing people like herself in and following their trends of beauty. What does Cosmo symbolize? In the play, Cosmo magazine is used to make the narrator think about her own flaws about her body, using the woman presented in the cover who is regarded as the American dream, and is noted by her pointy breast and her resin-a-day stomach. Fashion magazines usually tell the trend of what beauty is like nowadays, which can influence insecure people, and it can sometimes be extreme where they should promote a positive body image and uplift people who may feel like they're different, instead of promoting society's standards.
What do you think is the effect of body shaming to men and women? Um, well, obviously, it would lower their self-esteem and confidence in themselves. Uh, However, extensive amounts could lead to eating disorders, again, anorexia, bulimia, and maybe they could also have depression. It could lead to depression. Uh, but there is a positive impact in body shaming, even though that sounds weird. They'll still be discouraged initially, but there was this person, there is this person I know personally who was made fun of for being fat, um, but they didn't take it upon themselves to be sad about it, to be discouraged about it. They did it just to better themselves. So that person now is quite fit. They look really good, and it's all about the way you take it. Body shaming shouldn't be a coping mechanism for you to put out your insecurities onto others. Because just because someone's in a worse position than you doesn't mean you have the right to shame them for it. Lastly, how does this affect you? How does this affect the Philippines? Oh, for a country, body shaming could lead to some chain events, which makes the beauty standards for the Philippines much higher. And if someone from the Philippines go to another country, they'd find their beauty standards to be much lower. Or if a foreigner comes to the Philippines, they'd find it very overwhelming. It could lead to racism, or maybe even more than that. But if we keep raising our beauty standards, that wouldn't be too good for our society. Things wouldn't be very good for the society's mental health. And that's about it. So yeah.
And that is all for today's vlog about the body. We hope that you are able to learn and empathize with the issue we as a society face concerning our body. Thank you for watching and please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Gurung Vlogger ng Kuwait. We hope to see you again.